This is a story about a blonde, a Brit, a boy, a baby, and a bit of pretentious alliteration. And luck. My girlfriend, the blonde, is Californian. You may have realised by now that I'm not. And such national differences can lead to the odd, minor confrontation. You see, I just don't understand why every sentence has to begin with like and end with, you know what I mean. Also, what the fuck is a dude? And I am certainly not her bro. And its vitamins, aluminium, tomatoes, etc. This, of course, means that I have a dick personality. When what I think she means is that I have a stick up my arse. What I think she needs is a firm hand and clear guidance so that she starts to talk proper. Perhaps I'm a bit Higgins-ish, but I'm not posh, just pedantic and a little pompous and perhaps a tad pretentious. Too much alliteration? Never. So the first few months with the blonde were reminiscent of My Fair Lady in that I continually tried to educate her and remove the words like, dude and bro from her vocabulary in an attempt to have her sound like a lady. But as you might imagine, I failed. Mostly because I like having sex with her. Anyway, if she thinks the stick up my arse defines me, I've always thought something else did. I'm lucky, and always have been. In the Marines, I was promoted ahead of my peers for no apparent reason. 2 apartments I bought in London and Edinburgh respectively turned out to be great investments. I've never caught an STD. None of you know me that well to be able to laugh at that line. And since I have been in the US, I have nearly run out of money 3 times, and each time, at the 11th hour, a job paying exactly what I needed turned up. And then there's the blonde. We met in November 2015 over white wine and fries. I had a great job. We were bi-coastal with an apartment in Santa Monica and one on the Upper East Side of New York. I quickly got ahead of myself and moved in with her and her teenage boy, choosing great sex over good language, grammar, syntax, tidiness and cleanliness. The latter 2 being more to do with the boy than the blonde. Well, mostly. And then we went to feed the ducks. I love ducks. And I wasn't at all suspicious when the blonde joked that she had something to tell me that might change my life. Really? What could my little Eliza tell me that could change my life? But we didn't feed the ducks. We walked up to a little yoga platform in Pollywog Park, where she sat me down, reached into her bag, pulled something out and handed it to me. A pregnancy test, and it was positive. We were going to have a baby. I couldn't have been happier. I cannot remember the last time I felt so full of joy. I was going to be a dad. Fucking hell, time to grow up at 46. When the contract I was on in New York ended 3 months early, I lost my job. Fuck. Not only was I now supporting 3 people, but I had a baby on the way, and although in my dark moments I thought I could walk away from the blonde and the boy, yeah, right, I could never leave my child. But we were fine. I had my UK military pension, and I had saved half of what I'd been earning recently. It was enough to live on fairly comfortably for now, and hey, the blonde was paying half the bills. What that said to me about my masculinity is another story, and I wasn't going to mention it here, except that she said she'd shove my computer up my arse if I didn't. And there's the sex thing. And hey, I'm a lucky guy, a job would turn up soon. But it didn't. I went to Starbucks every day, bought a coffee and sent resumes for every job I could find that I might be even vaguely qualified for, and I was rejected every day. by an industrial deep cleaning company to be a cleaner, by a construction company for manual labouring, and as I remembered on the way over here, by a dog walking company to be a dog walker. I was a fucking lieutenant colonel in the Royal Marines. I have commanded people in war, for fuck's sake. Deep down I knew it wasn't because I wasn't good enough, it was just because I was overqualified, but that didn't help. So I went home each night and drank to cheer myself up, and so that I could be happy with the blonde and her boy. I only really slept when I took Xanax and lied about it to the blonde. But then my salvation. A great friend reached in and set me up with a friend of his who ran a franchise of a Dutch flower importing company looking to expand. And I had a job. I took the blonde on a vacation to Lake Arrowhead. We enjoyed a bit of light spanking. And returned for me to start work at 3 a.m. on Monday in the LA downtown flower market. At 4 a.m. on the Friday, I was fired for no apparent reason, and I begged for my job back, one I already hated. It was August now, and we were nearly 6 months pregnant, and I was starting to put stuff on credit cards. We were back to Starbucks. And that was when I really fucked up. I let my fears and need for comfort make me selfish. I needed somebody to confide in, and I confided in the blonde, the one person I needed to protect from my anxiety. Then one Thursday night she complained that she was leaking, and I, in my innocent attempt to keep her calm, said I was sure it was nothing. She acquiesced, but felt the same the following day, and I still wasn't worried. On Saturday morning we drove to Kaiser in Long Beach for a breastfeeding class and decided to get her checked out while we were there. 26 hours later, in the Children's Hospital in West LA, my little girl, Gypsy, was born. But she was still. Her mum's bag had split and an infection had got in. 2 weeks older, and we might have been able to save her. But on that Sunday afternoon, we were all unlucky. I struggled to hold it together in the room, so I walked outside to the street and sat with my head in my hands, smoking and sobbing, staring at the traffic. I was crying and remembering holding my warm little girl. Her eyes were closed, her fingers and toes perfect. Her fingernails, surprisingly long, looked like they had French polish. But she was purple, born too soon. And here's my guilty secret. I felt relief. I was no longer in a position where I could fail as a father and as a man, and I am ashamed. I wanted my little girl so badly, but now I was lost. I was lost because I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know what to do. The Marines had taught me not to show emotions, that vulnerabilities were a weakness to be exploited, and by God, they were exploited mercilessly. After 18 years military service, I had built up a lot of walls to protect myself and be the man this most macho of societies required me to be. But then I came to America to pursue a lifelong dream to be an actor, and I was told I had to break all my walls down, to the point that in an acting class, a teacher I revered told me that I didn't know how to be intimate with a woman. And after initially thinking, what? I've slept with many women, and with the lights on too. Some of them in sobriety. This was honestly my first response. I realised that she was right. I was guarded, never really letting anyone in. So I did a couple of months of yoga in Thailand, as you do, a 10-day silent meditation retreat in the desert, read my Brené Brown, and started to think that vulnerability was a strength, that showing my feelings made me human. But which way to turn now to support the blonde who I could feel drifting away from me? Hide my feelings or show them? I still don't know what to do. I cried writing this. I was alone. I haven't cried in a long time with the blonde. Sometimes she thinks me heartless. Sometimes she likes me being a rock, But it's hard. I want to get it right so badly. So today I'm still searching for that balance of fortitude and humanity. I'm still lucky enough to be with the blonde and the boy, and I'm beginning to think that it's not okay to simply be yourself. In any relationship, you have to consider how you're affecting the other person or people. Henry Higgins realised it, and I think I have too. It's not about me. It's about my blonde, my fair lady, and my love for her. Accepting who she is and realising that all I can do is keep trying. And as long as I am motivated by love and coming from the place where the relationship is more important than any need I may feel to be right or strong or lucky, wealthy or smart, then I think that just might be what being a man is all about. And we just might have a chance. And we got engaged last weekend. Yeah.